Okay, if you were around in the late 80s in Middle Tennessee, late 80s, early 90s, you know of a place called Rivergate Mall. It was always busy 7 days a week, but on the weekends, it went crazy with cruisers, with teenage cruisers. They took over the place. I was one of those cruisers in the late 80s. And I got to tell you, so my best friend, she got a Ford Escort GT. I was so jealous. And we're cruising around the mall one night, and she looked at me and she said, "Watch this." And her daddy had just taught her how to pop the clutch. And so here we go, bouncing down the road, cruising down Rivergate Mall. And then we hear blue lights. Woo, woo. We get a ticket. We get kicked out. It was amazing. Now, 1 week ago tonight, as we're taping this, I got another ticket, but it was very, very different. Now here it is 35 years later. They're tearing down that mall. They're going to build something new. And one of those cruisers was impacted by what was happening. And an idea hit her. She got inspired. Now, you might not have known her before this, but I bet if I say, Lisa, you know now. And she pulled off one of the most epic events in Middle Tennessee history. And I want to welcome Lisa Shelar. Thank you for jumping in.
Thank you.
Is so much fun to do.
It has been.
Isn't this the
It
best?
has been a ride, for sure.
So first of all, where'd you go to high school?
Stratford High School. Class of 88.
Class of 88. Now, you got to tell me, where did this huge idea come from?
Well, I love the history and, of back in the 70s, shopping in the mall. Early 80s, before I could drive, that's where we shopped, hung out. And then when we started driving, of course, we cruised. I love it, and I thought other people love it as much as I do.
No, they didn't love it. The mall did not love it.
Well, that's
they
true.
Didn't love it.
No,
yeah,
they did not love it.
We stayed in our parameters, right?
Yes, exactly.
But that's what we love to do. Friday and Saturday night. That's what we did, right?
And my daughter works there part-time. And so she's been keeping me up to date. It'll be the third part-time position in a different retailer that she'll lose. So she had told me, we got our date at the place she works, and it's August 17th. So, of course, sometimes I can't sleep, and that's when I get my best ideas.
Sure.
And I was scrolling on TikTok, and then I saw something that was like nostalgic, back in the day. And I thought, I would love to cruise again. And then I thought, why can't I? And, that voice in my head said, no, nobody will do this. No. And then I said, no, don't listen to that. I'm going to do it. So I said, I'm going to create an event and see what happens. And the next morning, my husband was already in bed because he wakes up really early. So he got up, kissed me bye, and I said, did you see what I did on Facebook? And he said, that seems like a pretty good idea. It's pretty cool. And then it blew up.
So right off the bat, everybody just started going crazy. Yes, let's do this. Right.
Yes.
So you knew I'm in. I've committed to it. I'm doing this.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I'm in it now.
Okay.
Here we go.
See, I don't believe in luck or accidents. I just don't. I believe there's some divine guidance there, and I feel like when a little idea drops in your head, and it won't leave, it's there for a reason.
Exactly.
And when I first heard about this, it was just like, I felt like God was saying, look, y'all have been apart too long.
Yeah.
Y'all got to come back together.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And is that what it was to you?
Yes, because sometimes this life we're in, it's draining.
Yeah.
It just...
Especially in the recent years. Yeah.
It drains all the excitement out of you. And, and I just was, wanting a feeling of that freedom and that, that youth and the idea that I can do anything, and we've lost that.
Yeah.
I think.
Cruising around, we cruised the mall probably, a solid 10 years?
Yeah. I would say
throughout the 80s.
I've seen posts like very early 80s up through the middle 90s. It may have been earlier when
it kind of teetered off. I guess.
I think when I cruised, it was at its peak for sure, because it was
late 80s.
Yeah,
For sure. And one thing I thought about the other night is there's no video.
No,
There's no
none.
video. Nobody has
There's
pictures
a
of
few
it.
clips of a friend of mine that was my childhood friend. She is the moderator on the group now, and
Uh-huh.
she does different groups like Nashville Native and things. So she always tries to pull videos. So she
Yeah.
does have a couple clips that she's posted of back in the day at
Oh, I gotta
Rivergate.
go look for those.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah, they're
see
on there.
those.
It might take you a while to find them
Yeah.
because there's a lot of
So the
posts.
difference between that 10 years of cruising the mall and this one night is that thousands of pictures and videos.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
It's an unbelievable amount.
Isn't it just the craziest thing? I read this quote. Somebody on social media said, by everything showing up on Facebook feed today, nothing else happened anywhere in the last day except this event.
I think I saw that.
I
yes.
mean, the next day it was just, it's all we did. Everybody, somebody said it's a nostalgic high.
Yes.
And everybody was
I
experiencing
know. I
it.
posted, I can't put down my phone. And everybody else was like, same.
I'm going to get in trouble at work.
Exactly.
So when you pulled up in the parking lot, this is about to happen. So what, it started at 5? What time did you get there?
Well, it changed times because it kind of evolved as it went along. Because as I was kind of getting some pushback, I said, well, we also want to support the tenants that's losing their jobs. Yeah. So I said, well, maybe I need to push it back a little bit. So I said, go in the mall, spend some money, support them. So I said, I'll be there about 4:30 or so.
Yeah.
So, and then that's when, people started coming earlier.
They started rolling in. So you get there. I can't even imagine. I passed you in the parking lot before I ever met you.
Oh.
And we were just talking about it. We're like, what is going through her mind right now? When you pull up and then car after car after car starts showing up at 5 o'clock. Yeah. What were you thinking?
Well, when we pulled up, I videotaped us pulling in because I didn't know how many people would be there at that point in time. Parking lot was starting to fill up a little bit. It was about a third, But as we were sitting there, we pulled in. And as soon as I pulled in, I thought, this is going to be crazy because two people already came up to start talking to me and wanting to take a picture. And I was like, what?
They know who
what is going to happen here? Yeah. And so it just went crazier from there. But it soon, right after we got there, it seemed like it just started filling up.
We got there about 6 and it was insane.
Yes.
And but I felt like it was the perfect time to get there because we could still make our way in.
Right.
Because we heard people saying the interstate was blocked up. It was just gridlock at every angle of it. The coolest part I have said to my kids, I have a 23-year-old and a 20-year-old. And I have said to them their entire lives, I want to take you back to the 80s.
Yes.
Because if you will go back with me, you'll never want to come back.
I know.
And because we had it so good.
Yes. Well, luckily I have my youngest daughter. She's an 80s kid. She likes 80s music, things like that. So I was thrilled for her to see.
Yeah.
Thrilled.
It's just to let them experience it. My kids weren't there, but they saw the videos later on. They saw me just scrolling for hours.
Yeah.
But my husband was there and he drove us around. We popped the top on the Bronco and we actually stood up and acted like complete fools, and it was the best night ever.
I was hanging out of the sunroof. So
it's amazing. So amazing. And I just remember thinking, I finally get to show him what I've been talking about for 26 years because he grew up in Centerville. He was a little far away.
Yeah.
So he didn't experience that, but I got to share that with him. And that was probably one of the coolest things. Any guess on how many people were there?
Well, I tried to do Chat GPT to find out, do some calculations. So around the mall, the ring, bumper to bumper, both directions, 2 lanes, can fit almost 900 cars.
Yeah.
And then the parking lots have, I think, 5,000 spaces. Mm-hmm. Not to mention Target, Fox and Hound, BJ's,
everywhere around. Everywhere. Everybody on Rivergate
So I would
Parkway.
say there was probably maybe up to 10,000 people, I would say.
I would absolutely think that. And a lot of people were guessing that. 10,000 people over an idea that you had. Is it just mind-boggling?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I want to First, I want to let you share some stories because with social media, thank goodness for social media this time.
Yes.
This is what it's about. It's not for the sad stuff and all. This is what it's about. It's
I
about
agree. I
community
agree.
and just bringing people together. And so, share some of the stories that you've heard.
The first one that I want to talk about is my daughter posted in the group. I'm proud of my mom, which that was a special one anyway. But a woman posted underneath, we don't know her, and said, my children were there with me. And they were in awe of all the people and the cars and just the amount of the energy, really. And she said that I told my children, this is the work of one person's idea, and you can do anything with your life. And that one comment affected me so much. So,
and the rest of your life. Because
exactly.
you're going to compare everything for the rest of your life to this one night.
Exactly.
Look what happens. And all those people saw the same things. That's unreal. Yeah.
And I do have some things that I took screenshots of. And I wish I would have done that the entire time, because I would think about, and I can't remember the details, and then I can't find it because there's so many comments in there.
Thank goodness it's all there, and it's not going away.
Yes.
We can all go. We can fish it out.
I can find it if I need to.
So, what about couples? Because I've heard so many people. I've heard them say, "We need a singles night. We need a dating."
Yeah. I said, well, I better be invited to some weddings then. I said, I'll get my license to officiate in the meantime.
Something that hit me too. I was thinking, we were talking about this morning. I said, how. When I was there cruising the other night, I was looking around and I saw so many people I knew, but they weren't high school people. These are people that I've met over the past 30 years.
Yes.
And I thought we were all there. We didn't know each other. And I know
that's fascinating because, yes.
Because I'm thinking, God was up there in the 80s looking, going, that goofball over there that you're trying to outrun? Yeah, he's going to grow up and you're going to fall in love with him. Yes. That's going to be your husband.
Yes.
And just how many stories, if you could just pinpoint every bit of it.
Well, I had a person comment and say, well, I've had a lot of people that didn't comment, but they've sent me personal messages and just personal little stories that is, would be insignificant to anybody else, but it was special in their memory. Their grandmother taking them to shop for some Easter shoes, or every year going to see Santa or, whatever. And it's been special just reading through everything that they want to share with me,
just
and to say thank you. They have been so appreciative, and it's overwhelming.
So I said back in the 80s, I got my first ticket. And then last week I got another ticket, and I want to show these because they're amazing. Now, who came up with this idea?
Well, one day I received a message, Facebook message from Ken Hale. He is a retired Goodlettsville police officer, and I believe he also worked for Millersville, I believe, if I'm not wrong.
Pulled every one of us over.
He did. He patrolled them all back in the day. So he said, I've got an idea. I made these tickets up. And if you'll agree to it, I will go around and I'll give the tickets out, for cruising. I said, that's hilarious. I love that. Yes, do it. So, of course, not everybody got one, and they are dying for them.
Yes.
I mean, I've got,
Souvenir
there's
ever.
over almost 400 likes on that post about it. So we're going to have to do another meetup and give the tickets out.
Yeah. Yes. So you're working on that.
Working on that.
Rest assured, you will get your ticket.
Yes. Yes. He does have more. I have 280 myself.
Yeah.
And he is signing every single one of these. So it'll take a little while, probably in another week or so.
Now somebody's going to come up with a ticket from the 80s that he also signed.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I think somebody said they do have one. Yeah, they do have one.
That's funny.
Yes.
Yeah. So we found your glasses.
Yes.
Share some
found my glasses. Now I can see what I'm reading here. Well, one is, I think it was yesterday at work. I got a message. They knew I was a dental hygienist, and do I know anybody who takes their insurance? And I said, well, we do. And then she said she has not been able to stop smiling since Friday night, and And since she's going to smile, she wants to get her smile corrected. And that's motivated her to do that. And
Wow.
I that was so sweet. I'm so happy for her.
That
and then
gives you goosebumps.
we've got someone said, without question, it was something so many of us wanted to do, and to see it become what it was is beyond epic. At least for me, it took some. I took some pics, but just then decided to put down my phone and take it all in for what it was.
Gosh, yeah. Just go back and soak it up.
Exactly. And then
that was a word that was used a lot. Epic.
Yes, I saw that quite a bit. This one says, I don't know you and you don't know me, but this was the best night I've had since back in the day. My dad had a massive heart attack in 1985, and I was 15. And because of the times back then, my mom had to get a job, and we didn't have the big, nice things that everybody else had at that point. I lost a few friends because of that. My family couldn't keep up with them anymore. I had a few, 2 friends that stuck around, just standing in the parking lot at 55 years old and see my childhood again. You can't even imagine the feeling I had and have. Thank you so much. You never have. I'm sorry. You've never have this. You never know how much this means to me. But yeah, I mean, there was just message after message after message like that.
Oh yeah.
And it's incredible. And it's just, makes me feel so good.
And it's not only just reflecting on stuff, it's looking ahead to the future. You know what? I'm going to change my future now because I remember what it feels like to be happy.
Yeah.
And to be joyful. That's amazing.
And then we remember who we were.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who we still are.
True. They're down in there somewhere.
Yeah.
It really is.
Oh man. So some of the stuff, some of the screenshots you had?
Yes. There is a boy that he has autism, and that's something else that's dear to my heart as well. And he has his shirt on.
I saw that.
And he was so excited to be there and everything. So I'm going to make sure he gets a
White
ticket.
House,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yes, I think he was. I think he was.
Pride. Yes. Class of 90, White House High School. Absolutely. Oh man.
And let's see if I can remember something specific. Someone said they have not been out in 3 years. And they went out and they had the time of their life.
Wow.
Yeah. And just over and over and over again, the stories vary a little bit, but they're all the same. That we, for a brief moment, we were all 17 again. Yes. And we could just feel it. Yeah. We could feel it.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yes.
It's like you said before we started taping, you cannot explain it to somebody if you weren't there.
No, they don't understand it.
And there were so many people that were posting saying, gosh, I'm so sad that I missed that. And can we do it again? And there was one couple that, it just broke my heart. She said, I wanted to go so bad. And she said, and my best friend knew I wanted to go. And so we were, over the next week or so, he just took a different turn. It took me over to the mall. And she said, I just stood there fighting back tears, thinking, this was such a special place. And she said, I picked up a rock from Rivergate.
I saw that.
See that?
Yes,
and she was going to paint it. And then she was going to maybe just plant it someplace around town. And I thought, what a cool idea.
Yes.
That's so cool. But yeah, I can't even imagine the stories that are going to come out just of memories and just everything. I wanted to share some of the quotes that these got to me. One person said, no violence, no division, just people coming together to relive an amazing era, 80s music blasting, screaming out the name of a friend you spotted across the road, feeling free.
Yes.
Another said, I brought my fur baby named Journey. I love it.
I saw that, yes.
Best night of my life in decades. Another said, could this event have been any better? Nah, it was perfect. How's that feel?
I feel blessed. I didn't realize when I started this that I would be so touched, and just it's an amazing thing to know that so many people had such an experience.
It's got to be. I can't even imagine. Lisa, I don't know you, but thank you. You deserve every kind word that has ever been spoken to or about you for dreaming this up.
Wow.
Somebody else said, I'm waking up feeling a little bit younger today. Boy, I did. I felt young all week long. It was like, this is
Yes.
crazy. And it made me realize we are young. We gotta
Yes.
this is time to celebrate
Exactly.
life. Everybody should be. Corvettes to minivans, no judgment, total gridlock, and it was worth every minute.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Words cannot describe how much fun I had last night. And the best part is I got to show my son how we did it when we were 19, still in awe of what a great night it was.
Wow.
Isn't that the best? Just
It was,
just to show the kids.
yes. And
Oh my gosh.
that was the great thing. You saw, you know, boomers, you
Yeah.
saw children, you saw, 30-year-olds that never done it before, and they want to cruise now.
Yes.
They want to cruise. So I hope they do.
I think they will.
I hope
I
they
think
do.
they realize that they've been laughing at us all these years. Now they know we were the cool ones. We were actually
Exactly.
the cool ones. My kids told me it was the best night of their life. They now want to cruise every weekend.
Yes.
That was another one. And if you see Lisa out at dinner, pick up the tab. We all owe her one.
I know, I saw that.
That's amazing.
It
right?
is amazing.
I just, it's just, like I said, it's very hard to describe to anybody.
It is.
And I think it is something, I'm going to say this. You took a huge chance. You did. And I realized that all of us have carried a lot, especially over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Especially this generation, the generations before us, behind us, everybody's carried so much. I don't think any of us realized just how desperately we needed a night of freedom and a night of reminiscing and reflection.
Yes.
And just pure crazy fun.
Mhm.
And I look back at that night and I think every age, every generation, kids, grandkids, dogs,
Yes.
a giant rooster, because
Yes.
who doesn't have
Saw
that?
him, yes.
Old cars, new cars, minivans. There was a truck with a couch in it.
I saw
why
that.
not?
Yeah.
Because why not? Everybody was celebrated, and that's the way it should be. And I personally believe that you accidentally that night started a movement. I really do believe
Wow.
that.
Well,
I
I
mean,
hope
has that
so.
sunk
I mean,
in?
I hope so. I was telling you before, this world drains you,
Mhm.
and back then we felt what we were before the world told us we were something else,
That's right. That's right.
when we thought anything was possible. And
And that's what we lived for.
yes.
You didn't call up a friend. And kids, this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's what we've been trying to tell our kids all these years, is that without phones and without social media, which is great, look at what it's done for us. It's amazing that we've been able to share all these memories and photos and videos and all that. But what the difference was that you just got in your car and went.
Yes.
You had to go meet up with these people in order to see them.
Somebody messaged me and he said, you know what? He said, I actually talked to a few ladies face to face. He said, and I said, I'm just going to go jump in the car with them like I used to back in the day. He said, but, I got out of the habit of talking to somebody, asking a woman, will you go to dinner with me, or, face to face. So, yeah, he said, thank you for putting me in that position.
It was that night where everything that we've been programmed, or whatever you want to call it, for the last 5 years, it just got undone.
Yeah.
It got undone that night.
It
And
did.
I think that's what the success and just the pure joy of all of it that's what happened.
Yes.
And so that's why I think it's not going to end.
And nobody cared what you believe, what you don't believe. It's just everybody. There was just love and happiness. There was a smile on everybody's face.
I couldn't stop.
Everybody was waving at everybody.
I could not stop. I mean, I was just looking around going, this is incredible.
I know the videos. I would hang out of the sunroof and I'd take these videos and I would just tell my husband, can you believe this? This is amazing. Yes, this is amazing.
So big question, what's next?
Well, I
think you found your calling.
Well, I was telling you, I feel in my element. more than I have anything I've ever done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would like to, and there's a want and need for it, I think, and I don't mind doing it.
People are
So
hungry.
I've got a meeting Monday afternoon after work with the owner of the location that I'm going to speak with about making it a little bigger than what they've ever done.
Okay. Okay. That's a
So
nice hint.
I'll know more Monday.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'll know
Okay.
more Monday.
And I want to remember this, so I've got to have my souvenirs. Where do I get them? What do I do?
You can, believe it or not, find it on Amazon. And I don't have a specific link, but it's, if you search at That Girl Lisa Official, then all different things will pop up.
And we'll
and you
put the
can
link
shop.
in the
Okay.
video here.
Okay.
And Facebook page. How many people are already on the Facebook page?
Well, the group is a little over 2,500, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I will be announcing next week a new public group that'll be the new hub of everything else we do in the future. So
that's awesome.
This needs a group all its own that we just did. So just to share that experience, but for the future, and the group that we have now, you can't share photos from because it's private. And I didn't realize that because I'm new at this and didn't realize
like 10,000 things that go into what
so
just
it's like,
happened.
I can't change it to public. So they can't share their photos anywhere else from that group. So the next time we know better and we have a public group.
Just learning as we go. All right, I'm going to give you a minute here. Just what do you want to say to everybody after all this experience?
Well, it was a process of not knowing, am I just, wasting my time here? Mm-hmm. But I'm so glad I made that decision to say, I'm going to forget those negative thoughts in my head. I'm just going to do it and we'll see what happens. And it's been a blessing to me beyond anything I've ever experienced. It's just the kindness of humanity that I've experienced. Sorry.
Oh no.
Is
I'm right with you.
It's pretty amazing.
It's there, and you just uncovered it and you unleashed it.
It's the best group of people I've ever encountered. They're so kind.
What do you say to a young kid right now who's got a dream and is listening to all the voices? What do you say?
You just got to get over yourself and ignore yourself, your voice in the back of your head, and just do it, and you won't regret it.
And to the people who have, like you said, have gone into the house and locked the door because that's just kind of the world right now. What do you say to them?
There's lots of love out there, lots of kind people and people just like you that want to be in front of one another and experience that togetherness and just that good feeling. Yeah.
I'm in the midst right now of planning my 35th class reunion. And I love doing it because I love to get to talk to some old friends. But I'm amazed at how many people don't want to come because I got some hurt from from not White House specifically, but from high school.
Yeah,
I got some hurt, and I don't know if I want to go back and relive that. And I just want to say to them, walk back in the door because man, people have changed.
Yes.
And what we want to do now, I just want to embrace everybody and just give them a big hug and just say, let's reconnect.
All that is over.
Yes.
And we don't care. Yeah, exactly. They need to just take that step.
Everybody knows they got their past. We've all got our past.
Yes.
And everybody just desperately wants to reconnect. And so we just got to tell everybody, take the chances, go live your life.
I hope
Pop
they do.
the top on your car and stand up and shout it to the rooftop.
Yes, exactly.
We're happy to be here and we just love our community. So
and also in the future, I hope to give back a little bit always with each event.
Yes, you got to tell me. Tell me about Ellie.
Ellie is my granddaughter. She is 2.5, and I've got. Well, my husband and I have a blended family. So he has 4 daughters. I have 2. And between us both, we have 8 grandchildren.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes. And
awesome.
Ellie is just one of the lights in our life. So she has Down syndrome. And so I wanted to give back and support that group that has been so wonderful to them. When my daughter was pregnant and we found out, they immediately contacted her, sent her a just huge welcome package with information and support and all that. So I want to make sure, and it's a tight knit group too, because
So you know
they
what
know
your
their
giving
families by
is.
name.
Yes.
Yeah, they know their
It's
families
from the
by name.
heart.
And I met Annabelle at the cruise, who is extraordinary, as we like to call it, and we're the lucky few. So we're selling the decals that everybody went crazy over, and the person that designed it, he told me, do with it what you want to. And then the printing company in Goodlettsville said, I want to donate. I want to, because they were there, they loved it, they had a good time. So everybody's been wonderful. So all the proceeds will go to the Down Syndrome Association.
So we're not done. The goodness is just rolling on.
No,
It is.
it is.
It's just going to keep perpetuating.
If I can, if people want to do it, I'm going to do it. So
let's do it. All right. I'm all about it. You got so much support. Thank you so much for coming in and just
You're
hanging
welcome.
out. I can't wait to see
well,
what
thank you for having
next.
me. All right.
Yes.
Well, stay tuned.
That's right. That's right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.